Hello and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred today in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things I personally find intriguing enough for me to bring to you. The source of this information comes from the smart device application on this day. The music in the background is Canary by Jim Yosef, which I found on the YouTube channel No Copyright Sounds, aka NCS. For links to the app, music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar. Now let's get on with the show, shall we? Today is Phrase Day, aka Friday, November 18th, 2016. In 2003, the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court ruled 4-3 in Goodridge v. Department of Public Health that the state's ban on same-sex marriage is unconstitutional, and gave the state's legislature 180 days to change the law. This change made Massachusetts the first state in the United States of America to grant marriage rights to same-sex couples. Also in 2003, in the United Kingdom, the Local Government Act of 2003 became effective, repealing Section 38, which was for the sex equality in the Constitution of Canada. In 1996, a fire occurred on a train traveling through the Channel Tunnel from France to England, causing several injuries and damaging approximately 500 meters, or 1,600 feet, of the tunnel. In 1993, in South Africa, 21 political parties approved a new constitution, expanding voting rights and ending white minority rule. Also in 1993, the North American Free Trade Agreement, aka NAFTA, was approved by the House of Representatives of the United States. In 1988, during the quote-unquote war on drugs, U.S. President Ronald Reagan signed a bill into law allowing the death penalty for drug traffickers. Now, if that's true, how come the CIA is still in operation? In 1982, Duck Koo Kim died from injuries sustained during a 14-round match against Ray Massini in Las Vegas, which prompted reforms in the barbaric gladiatorial act of boxing. In 1978, in Jonestown, Guyana, Jim Jones led his People's Temple to a mass murder/suicide which caused the deaths of 918 people, 909 of which were in Jonestown itself. The victims included over 270 children, as well as Congressman Leo Ryan, who was murdered only hours prior to this tragedy. In 1970, U.S. President Richard Nixon asked the U.S. Congress for $155 million in supplemental aid for the Cambodian government. In 1963, the first push-button telephone went into service. In 1961, United States President John F. Kennedy sent 18,000 military advisors to South Vietnam. In 1949, the Iva Valley shooting occurred after the coal miners of Enugu in Nigeria went on strike over withheld wages. The police, under the supervision of the British Colonial Administration of Nigeria, opened fire upon them, murdering 21 and injuring 51 others. In 1947, the Ballantines department store fire in Christchurch, New Zealand, caused the deaths of 41 people, becoming the worst fire disaster in the history of the country. In 1944, the Popular Socialist Youth was founded in Cuba. In 1943, during World War II, during the Battle of Berlin, 440 Royal Air Force planes bombed Berlin, causing only light damage and murdering 131 people, while losing 9 planes and 53 aircrew. In 1938, trade union members elected John L. Lewis as the first president of the Congress of Industrial Organizations. In 1930, Soka Kyoiku Gakkai, a Buddhist association later renamed Soka Gakkai, was founded by Japanese educators Tsunezaburo Makiguchi and Joshi Toda. In 1929, the Grand Bank submarine earthquake occurred off the south coast of Newfoundland in the Atlantic Ocean, with a Richter magnitude of 7.2. It was centered on the Grand Banks, breaking 12 submarine transatlantic telegraph cables and triggered a tsunami which destroyed many south coast communities in the Burin Peninsula. In 1928, the animated short Steamboat Willie was released, becoming the first fully synchronized sound cartoon. It was directed by Walt Disney and Ub Iwerks and featured the third appearances of cartoon characters Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. This is considered by the Disney Corporation to be Mickey's birthday. In 1918, Latvia declared independence from Russia. In 1916, during World War I, the First Battle of the Somme was called off by British Expeditionary Force Commander Douglas Haig, who was stationed in France. The battle had started on July 1st of the same year. In 1909, 2 U.S. warships were sent to Nicaragua after 500 revolutionaries, including 2 citizens of the United States of America, were murdered by order of José Santos Zelaya. In 1901, Britain and the United States signed the Hay-Paun-Seaforth Treaty, which nullified the Clayton-Bulwer Treaty and withdrew British objectives to a U.S.-controlled canal in Panama. In 1878, soprano Marie Salika Williams became the first black artist to perform at the White House in Washington, D.C. In 1863, King Christian IX of Denmark signed the November Constitution, which declared Slesvig to be part of Denmark. This was seen by the German Confederation as a violation of the London Protocol and led to the German-Danish War of 1864. In 1803, the Battle of Verrieres, the last major battle of the Haitian Revolution, was fought. This led to the establishment of the Republic of Haiti, which was the first black republic in the Western Hemisphere. In 1626, the new St. Peter's Basilica was consecrated. In 1493, Christopher Columbus became the first European to sight the island now known as Puerto Rico. In 1421, a seawall at the Zuiderzee Dike in the Netherlands broke, flooding 72 villages and causing the deaths of about 10,000 people. This event later became known as St. Elizabeth's Flood. In 1307, according to legend, William Tell shot an apple off his son's head. In 1302, Pope Boniface VIII issued the papal bull Unam Sanctam, claiming spiritual supremacy for the papacy. In 1095, the Council of Clermont began, which was called by Pope Urban II, which led to the First Crusade to the Holy Land. And in 326, the old St. Peter's Basilica was consecrated. Deaths: Austin Red Robbins, 2009, Man Ray, 1976, Chester A. Arthur, 1886. And that concludes the show. Once again, you can check the underbar for any links you may be interested in. Don't forget to look right and left at every intersection. You can also rate 5 thumbs and subscribe if you do so wish. For your dose of past events daily, I am Aeoxander, and you are you. Toodles!